You seriously think I am blind, Kate? The heavy front door had not even fully latched before my voice slammed through the dark hallway. Kate flinched, her designer leather bag slipping from her shoulder and hitting the hardwood floor with a sharp, heavy thud. "Nick, you scared me," she gasped, her hand flying to her throat as her eyes widened in the dim light. "Why on earth are you sitting in the dark? It is past midnight." "Where is your wedding ring, Kate?" I asked, keeping my voice flat, deadly quiet, and utterly devoid of the shaking anger she expected. She blinked, her gaze darting down toward her bare left hand, before she quickly tucked her fingers into her coat pocket. I told you already. I took it off at the office because my fingers swell up when I am typing at the keyboard for too long." "You do not type with your ring, Kate, and you certainly do not leave it on the glass coffee table, inside room 506 of the luxury lofts downtown." Her face went completely white. The lie died right on her lips. She tried to take a step toward me, her hand reaching out, but I did not budge. I stood there like a wall of solid concrete, my hands shoved deep into my pockets, looking right through her. "Who told you that?" she whispered, her voice cracking as panic started to seep into her eyes. "Nick, please. Whatever you think you saw, it is not what it looks like." "I did not see it, Kate," I said, tossing a thick manila envelope onto the kitchen island between us. "My private investigator did. He took 32 high-definition photos of you and your managing partner, Ethan, coming and going from that private penthouse over the last 3 weeks." The silence that followed was suffocating. I did not yell. I did not smash glasses. I had spent 15 years running major structural steel crews on high-rise projects. In my line of work, if you lose your temper and react without thinking, someone dies. You stay calm, you assess the structural failure, and you execute a clean cut. Kate stared at the envelope as if it were a bomb. Her chest was heaving under her silk blouse. "Nick, I can explain. We were working on a massive regional campaign. The pressure from the board was..." "Save it," I cut her off, my voice cold and hard as iron. "If you utter one more lie to me tonight, I will pack your things and throw them onto the asphalt before the sun comes up. Go to the guest room. Do not speak to me. Do not look at me." She stared at me, realizing she was looking at a complete stranger. The soft, accommodating husband who had worked 54 hours a week to build her dream life was gone. In his place was a man who knew exactly how to dismantle a rotten structure. Without another word, she turned and hurried down the hall, sobbing quietly. I sat back down at the kitchen table, staring out the window at the city skyline. I had helped build those very skyscrapers. I started my career as a basic apprentice, carrying heavy iron beams in the freezing rain until my hands were raw and bleeding, before working my way up to senior foreman. I bought our historic brownstone when it was nothing but an abandoned, gutted shell. I spent 4 years of my weekends personally restoring it. I laid every single white oak floorboard, welded the custom spiral steel staircase, and built the kitchen cabinets with my own calloused hands. I did it all because I loved her. But as Kate climbed the corporate ladder at her boutique marketing and investment agency, her respect for my labor completely dissolved. Suddenly, my hands were too rough for her high society friends. My work clothes smelled too much like industrial metal and sweat. She started talking about high-end galas, expensive imported wine, and her colleague Ethan, who drove a silver Porsche and supposedly possessed a refined appreciation for the finer things in life. I had noticed the shifts months ago, the sudden face-down position of her phone, the cold distance in our bed, the phantom client meetings that always ran past midnight. Last month, she spent over $5,000 on a single wardrobe upgrade on our joint account, claiming she needed to look the part of a senior partner. I did not complain. I supported her ambition. But when a close buddy on the security detail at the luxury downtown lofts told me he saw her car parked in the VIP section late at night, I hired a professional investigator. The report was a brutal wake-up call. Ethan was not just her boss, he was her lover. They were using a corporate-leased penthouse for their secret encounters. The photographs showed them laughing, sharing expensive champagne, and actively mocking my blue-collar background. In one of the intercepted text messages, Ethan had joked that I was probably too busy playing with dirt and steel to notice that his favorite associate was being taken care of by a real professional. A blinding, raw rage had consumed me when I first saw those images. But as I sat alone in my truck in the empty parking lot of my fabrication yard, a cold, calculating clarity washed over me. A standard, messy divorce in our state meant she would walk away with half of the brownstone I built with my bare hands, plus hefty alimony payments. I was not going to let her strip away my life's work while she laughed about it with her arrogant lover. I needed total leverage. I needed to destroy her professional credibility and Ethan's reputation so completely that they would have absolutely nothing left to fight with in a courtroom. The perfect opportunity arose 2 weeks later. Ethan's agency was launching a massive, multi-million-dollar rebranding campaign for a major regional bank. The bank's chief executive officer, a man named Arthur, happened to be a close personal friend of my construction company's owner. We had built Arthur's custom lake house the previous year, and he respected hard, honest work. Because of that connection, I quietly asked our company's forensic accountant to discreetly look into the billing files for the agency's contract. What we uncovered was a goldmine of systemic corruption. Ethan and Kate had been inflating the media buy and production costs by over $250,000, funneling the excess money into a private shell company they had registered together in another state. They were not just betraying me, they were actively robbing their wealthiest client. I did not say a single word to Kate. For 2 weeks, I played the quiet, oblivious husband. I even helped her pack her bags for what she claimed was a 3-day weekend seminar in Chicago, knowing damn well she was going there with Ethan. The climax of my plan was set for a Thursday evening. The agency was hosting a massive grand opening gala for their new flagship office penthouse, which my crew had actually fabricated the structural steel for. All of the city's top investors, the bank's entire executive board, and the local press were in attendance. Even Kate's snobbish parents, who had always looked down on my profession, were there, sipping champagne and bragging about their daughter's brilliant career. I arrived late, wearing a clean, tailored dark suit. Kate looked stunning in a backless silver gown, standing next to Ethan, who was holding a glass of scotch and holding court with the bank's board of directors. "Ah, Nick," Ethan said as I walked up, his voice dripping with false warmth and condescension. "Glad you could make it out of the construction yard. Elegant place, isn't it? We really appreciate the structural steelwork your boys did here." "I build things to last, Ethan," I replied, shaking his hand with a firm, crushing grip that made his smile falter for a split second. "And I always make sure the foundations are secure. Enjoy your big night." At 8 o'clock, the main presentation began. The grand gallery was filled with over 100 VIP guests. Ethan and Kate took the stage under the bright spotlights to present the new multi-million-dollar campaign on the massive state-of-the-art video wall behind them. "This campaign represents the future of our partnership," Kate said into her microphone, her voice confident, polished, and smooth. "We have dedicated months of tireless work to ensure every single detail is absolutely perfect." "We certainly have," Ethan agreed, flashing an arrogant smile at the crowd. "And now, let us look at the blueprint of our success." Ethan pressed the remote control to play the promotional video, but the screen did not show marketing blueprints. Instead, the giant video wall flickered and displayed a series of high-definition surveillance photos of Ethan and Kate entering room 506. The crowd gasped. Before anyone could comprehend what was happening, the premium audio system boomed with an intercepted recording of their private conversations, where they laughed about cheating on me and openly discussed how they had successfully overbilled the bank for $250,000. The silence in the room was absolute, broken only by the sharp sound of Kate's mother dropping her champagne glass onto the concrete floor. Kate froze completely, the microphone trembling in her hand as she stared at the massive screen, showing her bare back and Ethan's face. Ethan's arrogant smile instantly vanished, replaced by a look of sheer, unadulterated terror. He tried to frantically signal the tech booth to shut it down, but my head of security was already standing inside the booth, ensuring the feed played to the very last second. "What is the meaning of this?" Arthur, the bank's chief executive officer, roared from the front row, his face turning a deep, angry red. I stepped forward from the crowd, walking slowly toward the stage. "The meaning is simple, Arthur," I said, my voice carrying clearly through the silent hall. "You are looking at the people who have been embezzling your bank's funds for the past 10 months. The full financial audit and the original surveillance files have already been delivered to the district attorney's office. The police are waiting downstairs." The room erupted into absolute chaos. Reporters began taking rapid photos of the panicked couple on stage. Investors immediately surrounded Ethan, shouting demands, while Kate collapsed into a chair, burying her face in her hands as she wept hysterically. Within 10 minutes, 2 uniformed police officers walked into the penthouse and escorted Ethan out in handcuffs, his expensive suit wrinkled and his reputation completely destroyed. The fallout was swift, brutal, and absolute. Because the evidence of corporate fraud was presented publicly in front of the city's elite, the district attorney moved with lightning speed. Ethan's agency collapsed within a single week, as every client pulled their accounts to avoid the toxic scandal. He was indicted on multiple counts of grand larceny and wire fraud, eventually facing 5 years in a state penitentiary. Kate was fired immediately, her professional career permanently ruined. Her parents, completely humiliated by the public exposure, refused to help her or even answer her phone calls. Because of the ironclad proof of her financial fraud against my company's contract and the infidelity clause in our prenuptial agreement, my legal team stripped her of every single asset. She left our marriage with nothing but a suitcase of clothes and a massive mountain of personal legal fees. 6 months have passed since that night. Today is a quiet Friday evening. I am sitting on the back deck of my brownstone, enjoying a cold beer as the sun sets over the city. The house is completely quiet, free of the tension, the lies, and the heavy weight of betrayal. My lawyer called this afternoon to confirm that the final divorce papers have been signed by the judge. The brownstone is entirely mine. My construction firm has never been busier, having just secured a major municipal contract to build the new downtown transit center. Sometimes, people tell me that revenge is a hollow victory. But as I look out at the beautiful steel structures I helped build, I know they are wrong. I did not lower myself to cheap violence or petty games. I simply exposed the truth and let the weight of their own corruption crush them. I take a slow sip of my beer and smile. Some foundations cannot be repaired once they are broken, but a man who knows how to build will always rise from the rubble, stronger than before.